All right, let's dive right in and talk about our relationship with AI. What you're about to hear isn't some pre-written script. It's actually distilled from this really amazing, candid conversation. You had tech developers, philosophers, regular users, all in one room, basically trying to figure out where is all this AI stuff actually headed. And it all kicks off with a really simple, maybe even a little uncomfortable question. I want to ask you, have you ever used an AI tool and when you were done, you just felt, I don't know, dumber? Yeah, if you felt that, you are definitely not alone. One of the folks in this discussion, Noah Reese, just put it out there totally bluntly about their first time with ChatGPT. They said, I felt dumber. And that single really powerful admission, that's our starting point for this whole thing. You see, that feeling, it's a sign of something much bigger, a much deeper worry. The fear isn't just about a new gadget. It's the concern that AI could become, well, like a sedative, an excuse not to think. And that's the core of it, right? We get vulnerable when we depend too much on something. It's a real paradox, and that's what we're going to try and unpack here. So, let's step back for a second. Is this fear of AI making us dumber totally new? I mean, is it something unique to this technology? Or is it actually just an old, familiar anxiety that pops up every single time a big new tool comes along?
It really boils down to this classic tug-of-war, these two opposing ideas we've heard before. On one side, you've got the fear. Technology is going to make our essential human skills just waste away, atrophy. But on the other side, there's the counterpoint. No, it's just raising the level of abstraction. It's freeing us up to do bigger and better things.
And let's be honest, we have absolutely been here before. Think about it. People freaked out that calculators would make us all mathematically dumber. They were convinced that tractors would mean the end of real farming skills. So this whole new concern that AI is going to cause our creative and thinking skills to atrophy, it's really just the latest chapter in a very, very old story.
Okay, so this brings us to that optimistic argument, the whole level of abstraction idea. What does that even mean? Well, the concept is pretty simple, actually. The new tools, whether it's a calculator or AI, they take care of all the grunt work, the boring, low-level tasks. And that, in theory, frees up our brains to focus on the really juicy stuff, the complex, creative, high-level problems.
But look, this isn't just some abstract historical debate. This is happening right now in the real world. A software developer named Raiz Iqbal shared this perfect example. He's using AI to turn days of coding into just a few hours. Amazing, right? But here's the catch. He admits, I don't have the full grasp of what it is doing. And that's the trade-off, isn't it? We're swapping deep understanding for incredible efficiency, right here, right now.
So what happens when that personal feeling, that trade-off that one developer is making, scales up to everyone? Suddenly, we're not just talking about one person's skills anymore. We're talking about the risk of putting an entire society on sedatives.
And the risks we're talking about here, they go so far beyond the usual AI will take our jobs debate. The group brought up some really deep stuff. The fear of losing our human spontaneity, of becoming addicted to these supernatural stimuli, like perfectly curated information bubbles. And they even use this very colorful term, the enshittification of human cooperation. We'll get to what that means. But maybe the most chilling fear of all was voiced by another person in the group, Princeps Polycap. They said the absolute worst-case scenario isn't robots taking over, it's that humans start acting more like AI instead of humans. The fear that we'll smooth out all our rough edges and lose the messy, imperfect, beautifully spontaneous part of what makes us, well, us. Okay, so let's circle back to that term, enshittification. It's a pretty new piece of slang, but it captures something important. It's when a platform or a process gets watered down and optimized so much that it becomes basically worthless. And in this context, the fear is that we'll all start using AI just to win arguments online. You know, not to actually connect or understand each other. And if that happens, the very foundation of how we work together starts to crumble. Okay, so after digging into all these fears, all these paradoxes, you'd think the conversation would end on a pretty bleak note. But it didn't. It actually pivoted. It shifted from all the problems to a genuinely optimistic and, I think, really empowering path forward. And they gave this path a name, the transcendence of dependence. I love that. The whole idea isn't to run away from AI or to ban it. No. It's about consciously choosing how to use it so we get all the good stuff without the bad. The goal is to use AI to become more capable, more independent, not less.
And this isn't some pie-in-the-sky theory. We have proof of concept. Just look at AlphaFold 2. This is an AI that solved the protein folding problem. I mean, this was a biological puzzle that had the smartest scientists on the planet stumped for 50 years. That right there is a perfect example of transcendence. Using AI not to write an email faster, but to tackle humanity's grand challenges.
So the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we get there? Let's go back to Noah Reese one more time. They said, to maximize what you get from intelligence, you need to be intelligent. Or maybe, they said, the word is wise. And that's it right there. Using AI to its full potential isn't a passive activity. It requires us to show up. It demands our own active human wisdom.
So this path to transcendence really boils down to 3 concrete steps. First, just be conscious. Be intentional about where and how you're using AI and what skills you want to make sure you keep sharp. Second, think amplify, not replace. Use AI as a tool to boost your own natural talents and passions, not as a crutch. And finally, the big one, try to become an architect. Don't just use other people's AI systems. Learn to leverage the technology to build your own.
All right, this all leads us to our final part here. And it's all about the massive, high-stakes choices that are right in front of us as we build this AI-driven future.
When it came to the economy, the biggest risk that everyone agreed on was pretty stark. A future where AI leads to this insane concentration of wealth and power in the hands of just a few people. The solution they proposed? Well, it was a pretty radical shift, something they called a humanism system, where the main goal of the economy isn't just profit, but meeting basic human needs first, things like shelter, food, and water.
And just to be clear, this isn't some distant sci-fi dystopian idea. As Reese Iqbal points out, the danger is very real and very near. It's the ability of a very small number of individuals to gain almost infinite capabilities by combining their power with future AI. And that would just pour gasoline on the fire of the inequalities we're already dealing with today.
At the end of the day, if you had to boil down this entire incredible conversation into one single idea, one philosophy, it would be this powerful maxim: master AI before it masters you.
See, this isn't a spectator sport. We don't get to just sit on the sidelines and see what happens. The choice between letting AI become a sedative that numbs our minds or using it as a tool to transcend our limits, that's an active choice. It's a choice that each and every one of us has to make. So that really just leaves one final question, and this one is for you. How are you going to choose to use it?